Good morning and welcome back to the One Celtic Fans View. This fine Monday morning. I would say it's fine Monday morning, but it's not. I've got I've got an allergy to something. So cool. So cool. Celtic need some players in. We have 48 hours. Well, we've got less than 48 hours now. We need until tomorrow night to get some players in. And let's face it, allowing Arne Engels to go before the biggest game in Celtic's season. And I keep on saying it. It is the biggest game in Celtic's season because we don't need the money, right? But the money, yeah, the money is what makes every club move forward. Celtic have moved forwards quite a bit this season. We've spent quite a bit of money, as we all know. When you look at the money that the club have spent, you're thinking, okay, that's a crap picture. But we need better players in. Yeah, an allergy against the Huns. Yeah, I think it might be the Cats, actually. But anyway, we do need players in. We need someone in to replace Arne Engels. No one that we've brought into the club so far replaces Arne Engels, I'm afraid to say. And especially not our little German, Mika Bauer. He's a good midfielder, but he's completely different from Arne Engels. And from what I've seen of him, he's going to be a fantastic player. But I still think we need a player in. We also need a goalkeeper. Can we get a goalkeeper in before the end of the transfer window? Blackburn Rovers are strapped for cash. And Celtic may be looking to raid Blackburn Rovers for their keeper. But we'll wait and see. He did play at the weekend for Blackburn Rovers and the opening game of the season for them. But the Hungary international made 34 appearances for them last season. I have no idea if he's a good keeper or not. And the report suggests that Celtic could get him for around 3 or 4 million. Anyway, transfer deadline for the game to get into the Champions League tomorrow evening. Are we expecting Celtic to do anything? Hassan and Bauer have come in. Will they be enough? Will they be enough of a replacement? Tell me what you think in the comment section. We're going to get as much comments as we can in this morning. Tell me, do you think that the players that we have in, are they good enough to beat this team to get us into the Champions League? Are you more confident than last year? They're a far better team than we played at the same stage last year. We were rank rotten last year. There was division within the ranks. There was players that were looking to get away. Daizen Maeda for one, wanted away for the club. The offer from Wolfsburg must have been there or thereabout at this time last year. Daizen Maeda, what can you say? He had the season he had. Let's jump into the comments and see what you're all saying to it. Yeah, it must be an allergy to that last night, yeah. Has there been any credible links recently? I think there's been credible links, but it's whether or not Celtic can get the deals done or not. There's no standout player that we've been linked with, especially for the midfield player, especially as a replacement for Arne Engels. We had Matt O'Reilly in that position, first of all. We brought in Arne Engels. You knew he was going to be Matt O'Reilly's replacement. I don't think Hassan being a winger, he's definitely not Matt O'Reilly, Arne Engels' replacement. When you look at Mika Bauer, different type of player again. It's a downgrade though, isn't it? Let's be honest. Because he wasn't playing at the highest level. At least Arne Engels was playing in the Bundesliga when we got him. Mika Bauer, he was going up into the Bundesliga this year. Anyway, Cup spend another 25 million here. The club needs to spend money. They left us so short that we had to spend money this summer, says Brian. Did they leave us short? Playing in the Champions League can increase the value of the team. Yes, it can that. And it can give players the boost to move on. Because that's, let's face it, this morning, I'm in a doldrum mood this morning. Let's cheer us up this morning. We've got a fantastic game on Wednesday night. First game is at home. Come on, you boys in green, as they say. We need to score a good couple of goals. We need to win at home at least a minimum of 2-0. We need to keep it tight at the back, and we need to win 2-0. We need to take two goals lead going on to the away game the following Tuesday. We need a unit who ain't afraid of making a tackle in the midfield. Do you then, if you bring in a holding midfield player, does that then push Callum Osmond and Callum McGregor and Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain further forward? Or does it push Callum McGregor, and does it just keep our goal-scoring midfielder in the position? Should we be bringing in, now there's the big question, should we be bringing in an attacking midfield player, or should we be bringing in a holding midfield player? I think there's a couple of answers to that one, isn't it? It's an open-ended question. Yes, bring in someone and then push Callum McGregor further forward. He plays better further forward. You can bring in a holding midfielder that's a defensive unit that isn't scared to get. But then it's how long do we keep him? That's weird to say. Blackburn keeper has become hungry, number one, over the last year. So would he push Sinisalo out the team? It's a big move for Celtic to bring in a keeper that could potentially push out Sinisalo. And then does your number one goalkeeper just sit on the bench for a season? It's an interesting one. 3 or 4 million will turn to 8 known us, says Joseph Davison. Yeah, that's true. But they're seemingly strapped for cash. Typical when Tony Mowbray's there. That's all that I'm saying. Baz, I think it'll be a tough tie regardless though. Yeah, it's going to be a hard tie. You know, they're far better a team than what we played last year. And I mean, where are they in the league? They're second in the league. And they've played 3 games and they've won their 3 games. They've got a goal difference of 8 after 3 games. Celtic's got a goal difference of 5 after 2 games. So they're on a bit of goal scoring. I don't know what teams have played. They are sitting well above Wolfsburg, who are in 6th. Sturm Graz are in 4th. RB Salzburg are in 3rd position. And Rapid Wien are in 1st position. Lasker in 2nd in the league. They're a good team. And I don't think that it's going to be easy. And they've only let in 1 goal all season. Well, Celtic have only let in... I'm not even going to make a prediction for this one. I'm too nervous about it. Too nervous about this one to even think about making a prediction. Won't even think about trying to make a team prediction. Well, I think Martin O'Neill will start with the strongest side possible, but has Hassan done enough to get into the team? Martin O'Neill would have loved him to get into the team this Wednesday, but with having yesterday off, obviously train today, train tomorrow, and then see how the players feel on Wednesday morning. They're no dummies. It's not like we're going to Kazakhstan and playing a little team from Kazakhstan. You know, they are they're what you would call a top class team. Give me your thoughts in the comments. We need better defenders. Yes. Do we need better defenders? Or just a settled back 4? Liam Scales out of position. Some people say he's out of position. Some people say he's not out of position. When you look at young Colby Donovan, we need a better player for him. The fact that we don't have Alistair Johnston for this game is a big, big miss. I think that there are 3 players. If we had managed to keep a hold of, and I don't like to say it, but even if we had managed to keep a hold of Arnie Engels and Daizen Maeda for this game, and I know it goes against the grain, the players wanted away, and I've said, if they want away, you've got to let them go, but I think it's just nerves coming in because I know how big this game is and how good a team that they are. We'll wait and see. Worried about the middle of the park as always in Europe. That's where I'm kind of worried. Seeger wants to come get it done, says Dennis. Yes, it should be. That should have been a deal that was easily done. As soon as Alistair Johnston gets injured, you would want Celtic to just go, right, let's make the move for Seeger. Let's just get the deal done. He wants to come. We want him. We need him now. We need him because Alistair Johnston's going to be out until September. It does mean that you're going to have 2 players vying for the same position that are of equal quality, but you can move Seeger into the holding midfield play and rest up Callum McGregor. And then he's a replacement for Alistair Johnston when Alistair Johnston goes in the next window, because I think that Alistair Johnston will go through the winter window no matter how well that we're doing in the Champions League. I don't think Engels resembled O'Reilly in any way. They were 2 similar-ish players. They were both attacking midfielders that created assists, plenty of assists. Style-wise, I don't think they're the same, but yeah, we don't have anyone at the team right now in that midfield, for me, that's as good as Matt O'Reilly or Arnie Engels. I think that, yeah, people will say, well, Oxlade-Chamberlain, his range of passes are phenomenal at times, but his pace is gone. His pace is gone, so the players we brought in are good enough, but we really need a strong defence, which we don't have, especially the left back. And Nico Sugar, says DJ Kev, will be the main one to get, as he can play in a number of positions, including right back as Alistair Johnston and Ralston. Not Champions League, and Donovan's too young. Don't you? It's a bit of disrespect to Tony Ralston. Tony Ralston's played in the Champions League before, and he's had some fantastic games in the Champions League. Don't you think that you're being a bit harsh on the Bricky? We definitely need a battering ram in midfield moving forward. Bauer looks classy, but lightweight. Do you think people ever said that about Messi? I'm not comparing Mika Bauer to Messi. Calm the hell down. But I'm thinking, Messi was always slated for his height, but he's a good player. Good players can play. Like the Derry Pelé wasn't the biggest of players, but he was good with his feet, and that's what makes you better. Good morning, Baz. I'm worried about the game on Wednesday because of the lack of physicality in the midfield. I think that the physicality in the modern game, if our passing is on point, if it's into feet, if it's one-touch passing, fast football, we can hold our own at Celtic Park. The crowd will need to play a massive, massive part in the game this week. They will play a massive part. The whole stadium needs to be rocking for the first minute. We need to put the fear of death into them so that they're going, bloody hell, we've never played in a stadium this noisy. I know that the German Football League is one that's looked up to all around the world because of the ultras scene. Well, let's see them. An ultras section behind the goals is nothing compared to a full Celtic Park absolutely rocking for the full 90 minutes. But will it happen? I don't know. Enger's replacement will be Michael Nicholson. John says, I don't think that we are down to getting only 2 more players. Martin has said he wants Engels' replacement and we need a goalkeeper. You think that we're only going to get in 2 more players, depending on qualifications for the Champions League. Oh, it wouldn't surprise me at all. Can't see us paying another £11 million for a midfielder unless Benjamin Negrin went for 20. It's the 60th anniversary of failure to qualify. This wank is on the Lisbon's Lions legacy. Yeah. Yeah, good morning, Dermot. How are you? I stuck a tenner on 3-1. Casper first goal. In 30-61. Jesus. The wee German hasn't the physical presence of Arnie. Yeah, but let's not. He could be a fantastic player for us. You know, I'm not comparing him to. I don't think he's an Arnie Engels type player. I don't think that. I've not seen enough of him, to be honest. I think it's wrong to pass judgment, and especially the people that were passing judgment on Hassan at the weekend. I think that for a player that hasn't played any pre-season at all, who came from the World Cup and then had 2 training sessions with Celtic and then thrust into the team to get some game time, I think it's a bit harsh, to say the least, that people are saying that Hassan's just as bad as Michelangelo Balikwisha. But anyway, we go on. And I think that the little German has a fantastic range of passing. And he's got a fantastic touch on the ball. That little flick, you know, when he got the pass from Callum McGregor and then that little flick backwards, that's a player that's confident. I think that Mika Bauer will bring a level of confidence into the midfield that Callum McGregor. Now, the big point for me over the next couple of weeks is that you will see less and less of Captain pointing. Because I don't think that Callum McGregor, he knows that when he's got good players in and around him, and he knows he doesn't need to be telling good players where they should be on the pitch. And that's been the issue with Celtic over the last couple of seasons, is that we've had players that, even though they go through the training sessions, even though they've been at the club for a number of years, move out of position and Callum's got to tell them where to go on the pitch. I think that will become less prevalent this season. But we shall wait and see. I think we need to sign athletes that aren't injury prone and can play 90 minutes. Can't stand players. Being fit is their job. That's a bit of a harsh one, because that comes down to the Celtic coaching. That's not the players. That's through to now. Celtic coaching is a fine coaching setup that we have. But you motherfucker. What the fuck was that? I work with a guy who used to be he used to work for football clubs back in Holland. He is in his 60s now, and he said that there was exercise. If a player came to him and said, "My hamstring's a bit tight," there is exercises that he would have them doing, and stretches, mostly stretches, and he says he would get a player to play 90 minutes and no hamstring issues. It's all about the exercise and the stretching. You know, and I think that that's where Celtic are getting it wrong. You know, when you watch them warm up and stuff, there isn't a lot of, you know, it's I don't know. But all I know is that it's down to the coaching. And that's the issue with the fitness thing. And I think that Celtic rely too much on data. Personally, hence the reason that Martin O'Neill's got rid of half the data team and hasn't got them back in. Starting with McCowan or Hattie, would be the last thing that we need. Drum roll for that one, isn't it? Mikey boy's on the ball this morning, coming in with the last thing that we need. If we get beat, we are going to get the pure piss ripped out of us like it was last week. I mean, the whole of Scottish foot. If we get beat, if we get beat at home, I think that we can say that it's done and dusted. I think we need to score as many goals as we can. I'm saying 2 minimum. 2 would be a fantastic number. When you look at their standings in the league, let's get it up on the screen. when you look at their standings on the league, RB Salzburg, Sturm Graz. Sturm Graz hammered Hearts, remember? 6-0 over both legs. Last won the league last year by getting ahead of Sturm Graz. They were the champions. Would still love Rocky. Yeah, Rocky seems to be doing well. He's got off to a fantastic start at his new club, picking up some medals already. First competitive game of the season, and he's won some cup with his club. It's a bit like the Charity Shield done in England. Should Scotland do a thing like that? Oh, in Scotland they've got a new manager. I don't know anything about him, so I'm not even going to talk about him. I don't really care. It's too busy a week to be talking about anything else bar Celtic, to be perfectly honest. Fan 1967 Tick says, we need a full back line of quality defenders. Big, strong quality. Not ordinary SPFL quality. What does quality defenders mean? Because Cameron Carter-Vickers is a quality defender. Liam Scales, and we've got a back line full of international players. Apart from Colby Donovan. Tony Ralston's an international player. He was at the World Cup. That's a bit of a strange comment. I understand what you're saying, but to say that they're not quality, weird one. If we get beat, you can read the board, their last rights. It's going to keep coming, isn't it? It's going to keep coming. If we go through, it cements our superiority for years to come. Sevco would be staring another liquidation in the face. I don't think they'd be staring liquidation in the face, but this is the one that we need to, if we've got any aspirations of hitting a certain, going on another run like we did years ago, this is the season that you want to get that boost. I think that dropping down, listen, we've dropped down into the Europa before, and the only thing that's wrong with dropping down into the Europa is it means that it's Sunday football. And that's no good to man nor beast, because everybody hates Sunday football. It was crap. I liked it under Ronnie, because I'll be fucking honest, I was single at the time, and it was something good to do on a Sunday. It was absolutely brilliant. Anyway, I'm going to pipe down until after the game, after the cup game. Do we talk about the cup? We've got Rangers in the cup, and I knew that we can't get the full allocation. I was on the wind-up last night just to see if we could get them to bite. Anyway, Trusty could concentrate for 90 minutes. He'd be immense, but he's too prone to lapses of concentration. If we play to our strengths, we will win, says Joseph Davison. It means that Scales and Ralston are SPFL standard. Oh, interesting one. I could probably say that, but CCV must be due his annual European 6 note sometime in the next 4 weeks. Oof, that was right out the iced tea bring down. You notice the iced tea's back as well. See all your older iced tea's back in the house. Iced tea's dropping a new album after 20 odd years. Ice-T's dropping an album next week. I'm looking forward to that. But it should be interesting. I think he's going to get slated for it, but we'll wait and see. Was hoping for a bright, positive morning, but now I'm heavily depressed, says Pablo. It's Monday. It's a Monday club. It's just pure Monday club. That's all it is. If we make the Champions League football, we should spend. I don't want to get to the Champions League and be embarrassed, says Brian. I think that it's... Martin O'Neill would love nothing more to get to the Champions League and to prove that he's still got it as an old geezer playing a certain brand of football in the modern game. and he would love to. He would love to have the opportunity to put himself against some of the top managers in Europe. But I think that the realism of the Champions League, when you look at the teams that we're going to be up against, when you look at the teams that are still trying to qualify, it's Bratislava, Cluj, Bodo Glimt. And when is the draw? On the 27th of August, 6 p.m. Monaco time. Can Celtic be in that? I hope so. I really do. I've got a gut feeling, and my gut feeling, when I get this gut feeling, usually it means we win. Lasker are all right, but they aren't used to playing in places like Paradise. Hopefully, we get a good home win. And the tie is effectively over, says Calves. Wow. That's a big one, because they've played 3 games, they've drawn none, they've lost none. They've scored 9 goals in 3 games, so they're averaging 3 goals a game, and they've had 1 goal against, sitting on a goal difference of +8 in their league. Like I say, I don't know what teams that they've been playing. Let's see if we can get the games that they've had to see if they're the Austrian Bundesliga. They won 4-1. They got a player. Oh, they got a player sent off. They won 4-1 at the weekend. Friday night they won 4-1. They played Friday night to give them that bit of a rest. The game before that, they won 2-0. And the game before that, they won 3-0. And the game before that, in July, they won 7-0. They did get beat by Fenerbahce in a friendly during the summer. It's an interesting one. I think we just see how they are the first 10-15 minutes of the game will tell us roughly how good they're going to be. I mean, that's the one for me, because I've no idea of the standard of the Austrian league. Fenerbahce beating them 2-1. Okay, pre-season friendly. Yep. Could be the standard of the league, and you know there's they won the league last year, so you would expect them to be humping teams. We just need to wait and see. They do play match day 5, and then they play Wolfsburg. It's going to be good though. It's going to be some atmosphere. Must be in profit. Still players to be sold. Yeah, we're in profit. We are in we've sold £39.9 million worth of players, and we've brought in 32. Let me just do this. Brought in £32 million worth of players. So that shows you what we've done so far in this window. And yeah, there's still players that are to leave. There's Michelangelo Balikwisha. You'll be lucky to get $3 million for Michelangelo Balikwisha. There's no way are you getting their £5 million back on Michelangelo Balikwisha, right? So say you get $3 million for him. Say you get $5 million for Rio Hatate. That's another $8 million to come into the club. Surely that can allow us to go out and buy a real good quality midfielder to replace Arnie Engels. Do you know, another £10 million player to come in and replace Arnie? Because that's what we're going to have to go for. People said that it was too much money for Arnie Engels. If we start going backwards and start bringing in a player that's cheaper, is he going to be the same quality? Do you know if the Green Brigade will be doing a 60th anniversary at the stadium on Wednesday? No idea, mate. Don't know. No idea. To be honest, maybe somebody else can tell us that. RB Salzburg are falling off the cliff in the past 2 or 3 years. The league isn't great. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I mean, when you look at the league, it doesn't look the greatest, but it's either going to go one way or the other. It's either going to be a really tight game and we're going to be kind of up against it and going to have to win away from home. Now, remember, Martin O'Neill can win away from home. He's got it. He's done it with us last year in Europe. But I think that Martin O'Neill and the team would be like, right, let's just hit them hard. Hit them quick, fast and hard, and let's shock them. Let's do to them what a certain German team did to us in Germany a few seasons ago, when we were all going to Germany and we were all confident of beating a certain German side, and they scored 4 goals in the first half an hour. Whoa. This season our strikers are scoring goals, which we didn't have last season qualifiers. That's very true. And we need a world-class goalkeeper, says Danny. What is a world-class goalkeeper in this day and age? I mean, Sinisalo's number 2 for his country. Ross Dohan's off the radar. I'm sure Lash drew 3-3 with Angie's Spurs last season. Did they? It doesn't go back far enough. Only goes back to June. So, what I'm looking at. We really haven't spent any of the surplus in the bank. Surely they can bring in another two before Hatate and others are sold. That's a good point. It's a valid point. We did ask them to spend cash. Once again, it's been self-funding. People saying that, Dermot Desmond needs to bankroll Celtic and he needs to pump his money in. It's not going to happen at Celtic because Celtic are a private limited company, public limited company, and that run through the stock exchange, and they've got to play by the rules, and them the rules that we've got to abide by. Anyway, I have faith, but my heart is ruling my head. Duran looks like he's a real good player, both on the wing and up front. I think he's out of position on the wing, to be honest. There's one thing, if we can even get half an hour out of Hassan, and if Yang is really up for it, Tenekti looked up for it, there seems to be a bit of, when you bring in better players to the club, players like Yang automatically have to up their game. Players like Tenekti know that they need to get better, and Tenekti's seemingly been in the media saying that it's been Sean Maloney, of all people, that have that's been making him the better player. A nice article about Stephen Welsh that's out today as well, talking about the fact that why he left Celtic. I think we all know why he left Celtic. He wanted to play football. It's as simple as that. Ending his association with Celtic after all these years, going to Swansea without a transfer fee. After being at Motherwell last year, I can understand why, he played in a fantastic Motherwell team that played good football. To then come back to Celtic, Stephen Welsh would be sitting way down the pecking order like Tony Ralston. So I just think that it's a good move for him. Just read this. Yeah. I mean, he made the decision for his own career. And sometimes you've got to do that. Some people give him sticks saying that he wasn't Celtic class, but there we go. Anyway, Tenekti's mince, end of, says Pablo. 4-0 Frankfurt was a real turning point in the season. Without that Danny amateur role. Who cares about him? Duran's left-footed and Hoyle's right-footed. Why not try them both up front? Why not stop playing them on the right? Because I don't know. Anyway, Hertasan is rapid over the short distance. Didn't see much of it at the weekend. He's not had any training sessions. Jim Lister says maybe Fergus McCann is coming back to do the dealings. Jim, you live in a pipe dream world, don't you? Fergus isn't coming back to Celtic, you madman. With another couple of signings. I'm not even thinking about signings now because I don't think that Celtic are going to get anybody. Realistically, Celtic aren't going to get anybody in before the game this week. There's absolutely no chance. Just seeing if that was the van coming that I've ordered. Anyway, right, that is me done and dusted for this morning. Thank you to everyone who has joined the live this morning. I am trying to get, I know that I've just got you all to subscribe and that's absolutely fantastic. And I've been trying to get to a certain amount and we've surpassed that. Got way past it. But there's a little bit of me that's just saying, right, can I get to 28,500 subscribers before the end of the month? Before the end of the month, before the transfer window, can we get to 28,500? I mean, I'd love it if we managed to get to 29,000 before the transfer window. That would be phenomenal. So if you haven't subscribed, let's see if we can get a push between now and the end of the transfer window. We're on 28,189. Come on, let's see if we can get to 29,000 before the end of the transfer window. And on that note, let's end it positively. Let's end it positive. Celtic are going to go out and hammer this lot on Wednesday evening. Celtic are going to go to the away game on Tuesday night with at least the minimum of a 2-goal deficit. But what we don't want to happen is to get beat 3-0 away from home. Anyway, on that note, have an absolutely fantastic day, Celtic fans, wherever you